Hey, it's Joe Crump, continuing with the series on outrageous claims by me over the last decade or so, talking about my real estate investing process. This next one is how a proper lead follow-up system will double your income in 2 weeks. And it's really true. If you use follow-up systems, it'll be amazing to you how that process works and how well it works. If you start using follow-up systems, I would say that 60, 70, 80% of your business will be from follow-up instead of from initial contact. Right now, when you get started, you have to do the initial contact, you have to get them into the system, all that stuff, and there are going to be people who say no, and 90% of your deals, 100% of your deals are going to be from the initial contact and from your initial deals. But as you start doing follow-ups more and you automate your follow-ups, whether it's by the voice blast, text blast, or email, or using the autoresponder, which are all part of the auto marketer, and something I've talked about in some previous videos here. If you start using those follow-up systems, then you're going to convert a much higher level. Even for the people, even if you don't use any of those systems, but you just use the CRM, and CRM stands for Contact Relationship Management. It's a system that you put all your leads in. You can keep track of what you said to them, when you're supposed to call them next. You put in a date or a time or whatever, and it'll notify you when it's time to call those people, and you call them back. Your credibility goes way up when you call them back. If you say, look, I talked to you last week, you sound kind of interested, but you weren't sure. I just wanted to follow up and make sure you know that I still want to buy your property. I'd still like to work with you and put this deal together and get it off your hands so you don't have to worry about it anymore. And you can call those people back manually or have somebody do that for you and see if you can generate some interest from those follow-ups simply using the CRM. Now, ideally, you want to automate that process too, and that's what the auto marketer does with the text, voice, and email, and the autoresponder, which is part of the auto marketer, which does that with a series of emails that goes out to specific campaigns. So if I have somebody who's in the follow-up system every 3 weeks, they get an email that says, I'm still interested in buying your home, or if they just signed them up as a buyer, it sends them information about buying properties, lease to own, and it educates them, and it builds trust with you, and it builds your credibility so that when you talk to them or when you send out a property that you have for sale, they're going to take interest in it. And we're going to talk about working with buyers a little bit later in this series as well. So anyway, doing these follow-ups, you'll suddenly see a spike in your business, and you'll see it go up very quickly. Just following up on the initial calls that you make, the second week, you call them a second time or a third time, it'll double your business in just a couple of weeks. And eventually it'll turn into 80% of your business will be follow-up. So it's so important. Anyway, hope that helps.